What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Vancity, Beats, Eats, and more.
Cue Zia.
If you could see this little pup, we have our recurring guest over the last couple of episodes. This is Zia, our resident chocolate lab. She's very vocal. She likes to cry. She likes to bark. Today, she's feeling extra needy, so she's going to be hanging out with us. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Kazi. I'm the host of this show. Today, I'm joined by the one and only KatchFlow.
Hi.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
One of my dear friends who I've made over, I guess last year would have been
January.
2024. Happy one-year friendship!
Yeah.
Actually, though. Someone in our dance community, a teacher, a choreographer, freestyler, event organizer, and just somebody who I'm really seeing budding in our Vancity creative scene. I'm really happy to have you on the show, especially today.
To be here.
We're all feeling a bit frazzled-daws. It's been a bit of a setup, as you can hear and tell. Yes, girl, we know. We're all feeling it. I have all these surprises, these things that Kristen doesn't even know about. But on the show today, I really want to be able to talk to her about her dance journey, creative journey, some of the cool travels you've recently done. Literally just came back from Tampa from a really cool street dance event, and what's coming down the road. But I think first and foremost, before we start, we have to attend to the food.
Yeah, I am very curious to see what's under those plates.
So, you know, there's a reason why it's called Vancity Beats Eats. I did that on purpose because I want an excuse to eat.
Yeah.
We usually feature, you know, either we cook on the show or we feature local restaurants, local food creators and chefs. This is for you. Been really sitting into Barbados. Tapping in. And I was like Googling recipes. I was like,
oh my
dang,
gosh.
This looks amazing. Like a lot of cod, saltfish, a lot of fritters. You know, I was wondering if it's like similar to like Trini food with rotis or Jamaican food with the patties. But, you know, every Caribbean culture has their sauce, their flavor profiles. And I was looking up some Barbados hot sauces. And there's a store that's on Davie. It's called Lucifer's House of Heat. Has a serious collection of hot sauces from all over the world. I called him up, I'm like, you got anything from Barbados? And homeboy was like, no, but we have this like it's from Quebec, this guy named Mark with a K.
Come on, Mark.
Yeah, come on, Mark. And he made his own Barbados style hot sauce, like reminiscent from his culture, but like, you know, like it has spring water. That's one of the ingredients. So
only the freshest.
On deck.
Oh my god.
We've got chicken.
I can't wait to see. Wow.
That I got from them. Okay.
Okay.
And it's got some of the hot sauce, which I feel like
Very
we might need
nice.
some more because just opening that up and looking at it, I'm like, no, it needs to be
looks
like,
great.
I don't know.
I think it's gonna be good. It smells delicious.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
We'll eat the skewers when it's been sitting out in the yard in the picnic for like a couple hours on the buffet table, you know? But here's the sauce. I've covered up the logo because, Mark, you didn't pay me, you know? But this
Next
is for
time.
you to take home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bajan hot sauce. See, I love Bajan hot sauce because it's like, it has some sweetness in it too. It's not just like pure heat, which is sometimes hard to manage. But yeah, no, this is, it even has rum in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truly Bajan. Then.
Truly Bajan.
Thank you so
what are
much.
the other key ingredients there that you would say are really like Bajan?
I mean, Scotch bonnet, not specific just to Barbados. That's used in Jamaica as well and a lot of other Caribbean places. Fresh bell pepper, garlic apple cider vinegar, mustard. Yeah, this looks delicious.
It's yours to take home.
Thank you.
And every single audience member
Yeah.
who's not here.
Check out Mark.
Yeah, check out Mark with a K from Quebec. But yes, so I had a quick little nibble. That's what you heard me freaking out about.
So we know it's good.
Yeah, and you know, this is the Asian in me where I'm like, girl, we need rice.
Yes.
You know?
Always.
Yeah.
Chicken and
Is this
rice.
enough? Do you
Yum.
want a little bit more sauce or you want to try it as
this is good. Yeah, let me try it. See how it is.
Yeah, Z is awake now. Look at that. Hey, Z.
Yeah.
Tranquila,
She
please.
said chicken, hot sauce. I know. That's for me. Okay,
Yeah, they actually, at Lucifer's House of Heat, they have a lot of hot sauces that are on that show, The Hot Ones.
Oh.
Have you heard of that show?
No.
It's a YouTube channel where they interview a lot of celebrities. This guy gives them like levels of hot sauce. And like each one, they sample different hot sauces, and they're all based on a different level, and it gets
like
progressively.
Increasing. Okay, yeah, I think I've heard of this.
Oh my gosh, and it's hilarious. Like Cardi
would
B's
die.
on the show.
Really?
So
Okay, I
many
have to
people
check
are on this
out.
show.
Okay, no,
okay,
not
ready?
For you. Yeah, let's try.
Cheers.
Cheers. Delicious.
Chicken's still juicy.
No, this is really
If
good.
you need like
this
some
is, like,
rice
perfect.
to cut the heat a little. It's like a medium heat.
No, it's good. It's really good.
What are some of your favorite dishes from back home?
Love me some plantain. I will make plantain and eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner.
How do you
snack.
prep that?
How do you prep it?
Yeah, for your version.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's always plantain at the grocery stores. It's all about picking the right plantain. So for those of you who don't know what the plantain looks like, it's kind of like a banana, but a little bit bigger. And you want to get, there's different ways of cooking the plantain depending on where you're from or like what you like. I like it really like sweet. So what that means, what you're looking for is like a pretty ripe plantain. So it's like not green. So you can also do green plantain and fry it, which will end up being more like a salted chip.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it'll be a bit harder and like saltier, not on the sweet side, like even maybe a little bit on the sour side.
Yeah, that was me and Sevi's pancakes that we made the other day on the show.
Did you make like plantain?
No, we
pancakes?
made banana pancakes, but the bananas at the grocery store were all green. So we just were like, whatever, man.
Like, roll with it.
So we had green banana pancakes.
Non-ripe banana
But
pancakes.
same flavor profile that you just mentioned.
Okay, yeah, so that's like the difference.
Salty.
And then there's like a whole spectrum depending on where you go. So like when I was in Ghana and Tanzania last year, there's different like types of cooking plantain there. And then in the Caribbean, like I would say Jamaica and Barbados, we like really ripe plantain. So that needs to be like pretty soft. I like to squeeze the plantain at the grocery store. I'm like examining each one. Sometimes people will watch me and be like, okay, she looks like she knows what she's doing.
Choose whatever she chooses.
And then, so it can be like looking like kind of overripe. Like you probably wouldn't pick that in your banana if it was at the grocery store. And then you open it up and slice it. There's also like a differing consensus on how to slice your plantains. People do it like small pieces that are like round and circular. Some people do it like on a diagonal, a little bit thicker,
That's
and
my
longer.
style.
Yeah, it just depends. But I like them like a little bit thicker, and then you fry them in oil. Super healthy.
A little bit of salt? Or?
But nope. Like, that's all you need. You fry them. It's all about the ripeness. That's what I'm saying. Is like, you don't need anything else. You just have the oil. You fry it. You put it on a piece of paper towel to, like, let the excess oil soak out, and then enjoy it.
Yum.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I was thinking about if I could find that to bring you on the show. But I'm like,
oh,
this one won't do it justice to have any fruit
so
that's been
nice.
imported, man. It's not the same.
It's not,
I don't even bother.
You can find some decent ones, and I think because like there's just not as many people eating plantain here, I never have an issue finding like that's never sold out at the grocery store. So yeah, but I'll make it for you sometime.
Oh
in
my
return.
gosh,
Yeah,
yes, please.
Yeah. But
that
no,
would
this is
be
so good,
amazing.
and like Bajan, not you calling around to find a Bajan hot sauce. That's so thoughtful.
I go to such lengths for you.
Yeah,
okay?
thanks. I'm gonna have another bite.
I'm here to surprise and delight. That's and to ask questions. Speaking of Barbados and growing up in Barbados, like, what would you say was your first introduction to dance that made you feel like this punched you in the soul and meant a lot to you?
So clarification, and it's confusing. So you're not the first person to have said this, but I wasn't born in Barbados, and I didn't grow up in Barbados. I grew up in Jamaica, which is confusing, but my background is
Barbadian. Yes.
So my dad's from Barbados. I know, I told you, it's confusing.
I
Immigrated
know.
to Canada. And so I was always around, like, when I moved from Jamaica to Canada, like, still around Barbadian culture and cuisine. So I'll go back to growing up in Jamaica in a second, but in just talking about cuisine, like, one of the national dishes is flying fish. And do you know about flying fish?
No, I just read it.
Okay,
I don't know too much about it.
So it's very sparse now because there's kind of been like a decline in the fish population.
Yep.
They've kind of migrated to other areas, and also I think there's maybe some overfishing as well. I'm not 100% sure of the exact reasons, but it's hard to find now, and if you do find it, it's like a bit more expensive. But I grew up in Canada with my dad always making flying fish at like family gatherings and stuff. So it's like this whole elaborate process, like all these spices finely chopped and then breading the fish and frying the fish. And that like taste has always been like a part of my childhood and like one of the things I look forward to at family gatherings. So that has, that's definitely a dish that I would say like comes to mind when I think about that. But yes, I was born in Canada, in Montreal, actually. Shout out Montreal. I will always claim Montreal as my birthplace. And then when I was 1, moved to Kingston, Jamaica. And so that was my experience for the first, like from age 1 to 7. So I was definitely like immersed in the culture, like had a full-on thick Jamaican patois accent coming back to Canada. I was just like had a very rich experience growing up there. That was also my introduction to dance and music, because if you know anything about Jamaican culture, you know that everywhere. Music and dancing is just part of everyday life. It's part of school, it's part of church, it's part of family gatherings, like at the beach, anything. So I feel a very strong connection to Jamaican culture as well. And whenever I hear a Jamaican accent, it feels very much like comfort to me, because it's the first kind of accent that I grew up hearing and was surrounded by.
Yes.
So yeah, that's like a big part of the influence for me, I think, for like rhythm and music and like being around dancehall, and like that's why like 90s dancehall too is like, that's my jam. Like I hear that and I'm like, no, there's like not gonna be a better era for dancehall, in my opinion. That was like the golden era for me. So I think just because I had such fond memories of like those simple party grooves that just like, you know, get everybody moving, all the aunties, all the grandpas, like everything.
Yes.
That was really special. And then moved back to Canada, like East Coast.
And that was at what age?
At age 7.
Got it.
Yeah. So I grew up mostly on the East Coast, but also like in the Caribbean. So definitely like similarities between the cultures in Jamaica and Barbados, but there's also like several differences as well. So then being back on the East Coast, that was where I spent most of my time until coming to Vancouver. But I didn't move to Vancouver until I was an adult, so I don't have the experience of growing up here.
Yeah, you've already been defined as an adult from other places and stepping into here with that lens and that frame of thinking.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's so interesting. Okay, now that you've really painted the picture in my head, it makes me super curious about like, you know, growing up in different cultures, especially cultures that aren't, you know, your birthplace, and even when your birthplace is already a place that's like A, on stolen land, and B, with already all these other cultures. You know, like some people, I mean, at least I can speak from my own experience of having done the same, born somewhere else, grew up somewhere else. It's like it's hard to feel sometimes that you can culturally identify, or you feel like you're enough. Like, am I Filipino enough because I'm too Canadian? Or when I go back to my own like homeland where I was born, like I'm also not enough and I'm too Canadian. Like it's, you know, did you ever feel that? Or did you just feel like each place that you lived, you really just, it became part of you? You know?
That's such a great question, and like a lot of layers to that.
Totally.
Because even like on top of that, what you were just saying, there's also the layer for me of being biracial. So the identity, like, of being biracial coming from two different backgrounds, but then also, like, how society treats you. So, like, I identify as a Black biracial woman. But because in general, like, the world and society treats me as a racialized person.
Right.
You know, so my mom is white, my dad is Black. In society, I feel that people see me as a Black person or a biracial Black person, a mixed person. So that's been my interaction with people, how people talk about me. You know, I don't think people pass me on the street and they're like, that's a white person. Like, I don't think that's the experience, and that's not been the you know, people, the experience that I've received. And, you know, just like names, racial slurs that I've been called by people, like, you know, that's a clear indication of how people see me. So that's part of that. And then I would say, like, definitely growing up in different cultures and, like, having different backgrounds is it's interesting. Like, I think the different places that I've lived, I've had to intentionally find my people and people that see me for who I am instead of, like, what box I fit in, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And as humans, we love categories. Like, it's how our brain works. We like to
meaning-making machines.
Yeah, to put people in boxes or categories is kind of like a psychological, I guess, habit that we have. And so when someone doesn't fit in a box, it's kind of like people don't really know what to do. So, you know, I've been around Black people who have said, oh, you're really whitewashed. And I've been around white people who have said, oh, you know, just different assumptions about me racially, or like, oh, but you're not like those other Black people, or like,
wow.
Oh, so many things.
Yeah. Could write a book of what not
things
to
like
say.
that. Right, exactly. Different comments like that. Yeah. So it's been, but I will say, like, generally, I've been very warmly received by the Black community anywhere that I've been, which is, you know, I think that speaks to shared experience and understanding.
Yeah.
Like, my family on my dad's side has been through a lot in terms of racial trauma, and so that, you know, gets passed down, and the experience of that and communicated through generations. And I think also just connecting over Black culture, like things that you would say, things that you like, how you act in certain situations, what you have to worry about, what you don't have to worry about. So, you know, that's something that I just love getting these rubs, eh?
You're milking it on the show while Auntie's telling their story.
A guest star on the show. Yeah, that's something that's often on my mind. But thankful for people that really see me and make an effort to really understand who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And that's been not just from the Black community, for sure. I have amazing friends that really take the time to understand that. I can just say, again, like, from that shared experience, and, like, representation is really important.
Yes.
And having friends that look like you and that maybe have had shared experiences, similar experiences, similar cultural understanding. She just took a big lick of the corner of that chicken. How's the spice level?
You can't have that. You're gonna have the
rate?
weirdest poo. You were just trying to distract us, you know.
No.
That is hilarious.
That's so funny.
We live for
Was it
entertainment
good?
on the show.
She's good now, though. She's like, that was delicious.
Yeah.
I'm good now. Yeah. So yeah, I think, like, that theme or that consideration of representation is important has been a driving force for me in my life and other avenues.
Yeah.
just to make sure that everybody feels seen and understood, and that we are complex people. We don't fit in necessarily one box, and there's multiple layers to our identities and how we navigate life. And you know, certainly I also need to acknowledge that I have some privilege as a lighter skinned Black person, and that's something that I've really tried to consider and reflect on. So yeah, there's a lot of layers to
many
these
layers,
conversations.
man.
Yeah.
It's like we can, you know, it goes from the minuscule and intersectional and layered to then like zoomed all the way out, and it's just like humans.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the also shared human experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's so dope that you've had such a varied cultural upbringing, that all of it becomes pieces of who you are, but then also like this layer of awareness of like, what is my role in society? How am I perceived? What position does that put me in? And what privileges do I have?
Yeah.
And then I see what you're doing with your platform, your voice, your ability to unite a lot of people. You know, like you cross beyond race and beyond those kind of barriers. And I see you in the community as someone who has befriended many. And like, what's dope about that is you become approachable, people trust you, and it's so evident in the events that you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I definitely know what it's like to feel like a bit more isolated in different aspects or different areas of the community. Not specifically just here, but like maybe other places I've lived as well. But definitely have experienced that here. And so that's something for me, like I want everybody to feel like there's a space for them to be heard and seen and celebrated.
Yes.
Do you want more chicken? Is that why you're fussing? Was it that good?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's kind of been a motivation for me in organizing different events and connecting with different people. I'm also like somewhat of an extrovert.
Yeah.
So I do like to connect with people and talk to different people in different corners of the community. And I've been really fortunate, I would say, like this past year and a half to meet some great people, you being one of those people.
Likewise.
I would say also Arthur, shout out Arthur.
Oh yes, Arthur Storm, Poppy.
And J-Lo, DJ J-Lo, Justin. A lot of, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some names, but just some really key figures in the community that have helped me navigate some of these new roles that I'm taking on, like just in terms of event organizing or sort of different maybe like leadership roles. I've really leaned on people in the community that have been doing this for a long time and have the wisdom and experience to help guide me in that. So I've really appreciated how generous you guys have been in helping me navigate that, because that's been like, I don't know if I'd be able to do it without the panic text messages. What do you guys do when this happens? Or what do you all do? How do you plan this when this happens? So, yeah.
That's so good. Aw, that makes me really happy to hear.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, not only in terms of community organizing, but just like dance in and of itself. You know, you really are super talented, A.
Thank you.
And you work hard, and I've just been seeing you training. And, you know, it's like you're constantly exploring yourself through movement and sharing it with people. Like, what has been your dance journey with exploring different styles, and, you know, which one do you feel speaks to you the most at this time in your life?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, so my first introduction to formal dance classes was like Afro-Caribbean dance in Jamaica. And then coming back to Canada, I did like competitive studio dance, recreational first, and then I started to do like studio competitions. So that was more classical style realm, like jazz, tap, ballet.
And you were young? Like,
like 9-ish, 9. Yeah, and then I did competition all the way through high school in those different styles. So, but I was also doing hip hop, and some of it was like studio hip hop, like what you think of when you think of studio hip hop. But I was also really lucky to have some really great teachers that really were connected to the source of hip hop and like really taught strong foundations. I had the opportunity to learn from several members of Doodat Entertainment, which is the first Canadian, I guess, like entertainment dancer agency that was founded by Luther Brown, who's a very big name now. Yeah, and he's Canadian. A lot of people forget that, but Luther, he reps Canada. And he trained a lot of dancers that lived mostly in the Toronto area, and my studio owners had reached out to a few of them to choreograph, so brought them down to Ottawa to choreograph and teach us, which was amazing. Yeah. And also had the opportunity to learn from Spicy from Montreal. She also came and choreographed. Spicy. Yeah, Spicy. She had a big impact on me at a young age. So
such a pillar to the community.
And a lot of these people, I didn't realize the significance of what they had accomplished or what training they had until much later. And then I just, reflecting on it, realized how lucky I was to have learned from them and like really been exposed to multiple perspectives of people, because that's another thing I feel strongly about is like different perspectives are important. Because how a Black woman explains dance to you is going to be different than how a white man explains a dance move to you, or the culture to you. So those different experiences and perspectives are really important in terms of shaping a dance or a culture.
Absolutely.
So then I continued dancing, went to school, did more school, did dance during university, and then moved out to Vancouver and have been continuing on my mostly street dance journey. I also did a year of breaking. Shout out Crazy Smooth for being my first breaking teacher.
He was the first person who taught me hustle, actually.
Really?
Yeah, at a house party in Ottawa.
That's a great person to learn hustle from as well. He's great. And and just kind of, I really love learning different styles. Like, I really don't mind feeling like a beginner in a style and trying different things and like kind of looking silly, because it's just silliness. Yeah, it's just like, it's like what is the worst thing that can happen if you're trying something new, and there's no expectations if you're a beginner, like you're trying something for the first time, so there's no reason to expect that you would be amazing at it when you're just trying. So I often like to try new styles or different styles, and then it's just exciting that there's so much growth to experience. Like you can feel like you've been working on one thing for a while, but then you try something else and you have so much to explore in that. So it's like, I really love that feeling of training and trying different things, learning different things. So I consider myself a lifelong student. I teach as well, but I take probably 5 times as many classes as I teach because I want to continue to learn and grow as a dancer, as an artist, as a teacher. I find taking classes really helps me to reflect on what it means to be a good teacher, because when you are on the other end of that, you can really see, like, okay, I really like when the teacher does it this way, or I really like when they try this, just trying to go for that piece that's hers. At least she went for her piece. Not this one again. That's here. So funny.
Sit.
Yeah, I think intermission time. Are you gonna give it to her?
No. She's not allowed.
I know.
That means I have to pick up her weird poo later. No, that's not happening. But maybe it'll help her focus and her concentration.
I think it'll make her think that she can have the whole rest of the meal as well. Probably.
No, Zia.
That's what I hear.
Not allowed. No. Listen to me. No. So what would you say that you're learning and really excited about right now?
I think that, like, I'm kind of just always exploring different things. Like right now, so yeah, going back to just taking different classes, I've trained in a lot of different foundational styles. So hip hop is like the main style that I have been training in for like over 20 years. And that's been really, you know, a home base comfort style for me. I love learning about hip hop. I will never get tired of hip hop music and hip hop classes, hip hop ciphers.
Always evolving.
It's always evolving.
Always evolving.
There's always something more to learn or experience. So I love that. I've also, for the past about 6 to 7 years, been training in house, which has been a great journey as well. Another passion of mine. I love house music. It just makes me feel so good. And there's so many different styles of house music to explore. I love like Afro house fusion, like the fusion of Afro and house music. And yeah, like soul, like just so good.
Well, you know what's really cool about hip hop and house is that they really came up at the same time, like parallel wise, in like 2 large American cities that, you know, had a relationship already with each other. And I think in my early beginnings of discovering hip hop, I never knew or paid much attention to house. And these past couple years, I've been falling in love with house like I did fall in love with hip hop, you know, like 20 years ago. And it's that appreciation of like, you know, the technology of the music in making music at the time, plus the sampling records, chopping up beats, getting creative, and then a whole new output. With dance involved, coming from playing this music in the clubs.
No, it's incredible. Like learning, the more I learn about the history, the more I'm just fascinated by how certain things came about. And I think one of the really amazing things about that is that a lot of the people that shaped and created these styles are still alive. And you can learn from them. And that influence has gone all over internationally. So learning from people that adjacently have learned or been there or been to these cities is really cool.
Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
You're having a hard time, eh?
Yeah, girl. Come on. Lie down. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. Okay, Zeet.
Yeah, so I think that's it's something that is always evolving, like you said. Like there's different people kind of shaping the style and new people that are coming into the scene doing different things. Hi. And that's really exciting too. So again, that different perspective thing comes into play. We're learning from
okay, Zia.
intermission break.
Zitzi, come on. Come here. Come here. Come here.
A staring contest.
I know. Come here. Come here. Maybe we will give you a tiny piece of chicken.
Last resort.
Last resort. We'll just do the mother thing. Come here. Sit. Sit. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's chilling now.
It's okay. That's all you get.
She's like, what?
All right, girl. Yeah. You know, we're just shooting live, talking, dog sitting, hanging out with KatchFlow. If you're just tuning in with us, we've been chatting about your upbringing, about dance, about the different styles that you've been exploring, and yeah, what has been present for you right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think the more I learn different styles, the more I learn kind of what the shared root of dance is. Like, because a lot of people, and me too, like you see different styles and you're like, this is so different from this. But there's ways to find overlapping connection and similarities between the dances, which has helped to kind of connect the dots on some things or make it a little less intimidating to get into a certain style. So I've been enjoying training popping recently.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I don't really.
Your body wants to hit them pops,
yeah,
eh?
I just love how it looks. I love how it feels. I really like G-funk music.
I know.
That
it's like fat, like PHAT
yes,
fat.
Exactly.
That's the sound.
Yeah, so like when I discovered that genre of popping music, I was like, whoa, like this, I love this. So
I just saw you in California.
yeah, so that's been something I've been training for a couple years as well. I entered my first popping battle in the fall. I was just like, I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna be a beginner at this. So yeah, it was a good experience. Got some good feedback and just had a lot of fun. I've also taken some locking classes, some whacking. I've learned from Simran, who I know has been on your show before, and a couple different teachers there. And then also training pretty regularly in Afro as well. Ooh. Different Afro genres and dance forms.
Yeah.
AJ Mazzotti is one of my mentors that has been teaching me quite a lot this year, but I've also learned from a lot of the Afro teachers in the city here. And then whenever I can, I took class in Ghana and Tanzania as well when I was there, which is really cool. Very special.
Wow. When was that?
Yeah, in last April. It was a family trip, not for dance, but I was like, I can't be here and not take a dance class. So,
yeah, that's part of the trip.
So I squeezed it in, a couple classes, and I was warmly received there, which was really nice. So yeah, so a lot of different styles and just kind of finding inspiration from the different styles that I train in. And then even within like one genre, there's like sub genres of like hip hop, umbrella, light feet under that, but so different in like just how it's approached, the moves, even the history of how it came about, and
human
how
ingenuity,
new it is.
and the development of culture. It just always blows my mind.
Yeah,
and it's always evolving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I was in Tampa this weekend, I took 3 footwork classes in a row.
Yeah.
And different styles, so like footwork based, I guess, or where you need to use your feet. But the first one was house with Denzel, which was amazing. They were all amazing. Yeah. And then light feet with E-Solo, and then Chicago footwork with King Charles. We ended with the fastest one, but it was
like save up the juice.
It was so much fun, and like again, you can see the similarities and the overlap. And King Charles was talking about like the evolution and like trajectory of Chicago footwork, and house, and their connection, which I just thought was so interesting. And then E-Solo was talking about like the grammar used in light feet and how to put phrases together, and that was fascinating to me as well. That because I've taken
like movement phrases,
like how, because there's like a grammar structure to it, like what you start with, what you continue with, and how you end a phrase, which I knew some of these things. I've taken quite a few light feet classes from Cry, Hype Girl Tune, shout out New York, shout out 36 Chambers. But just I just hadn't heard the kind of like the grammar and the structure laid out in that way, because it was my first time learning from E-Solo, and that's kind of just his approach to teaching. So again, goes to that importance of different perspectives, and like you might learn something valuable from different people that teach the same style but have a different approach to it, or a different experience with it. So I always encourage people to learn from like as many people as they can, because it will just enrich your experience and your understanding of a style. And at the end of the day, like, these dances are cultural and they're human based. So everyone has a different experience. Yeah. And those things are multiple truths that make up a culture.
Slice that, quote it. Make it viral. That's the one.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
but that's
it does
kind of
make
like,
sense.
because some people, I've also learned from like learning from different individuals and styles will be like, this is the only way that this style can be.
Anytime anyone says this is the only way, I'm all right. I'm gonna take what you said with a grain of salt.
I've learned to do that.
You know,
so that's, you know, and then I'll talk, and I'm like, okay, I guess it must be that way, and then I'll learn from someone else like equally as reputable in the culture that's like, actually no, like it could be this or it could be that. And so
it's a tapestry, y'all.
It's a tapestry, and for that person that's their truth, and for the other person that's their truth, but it doesn't mean that you know, either person is right or wrong. It just means that it's a human experience, and that's what happens when it's a cultural thing. Like it's not perfect and cut and dry, and there's not a textbook that was written exactly on how to do things. It just is a shared experience, and you know, and then individual experiences that make it up.
Absolutely. I would also say that like what makes something evolve is because it's built off of something else and then creating something new at the same time. And that like there are through lines in like a culture continuing its thread, and that's like the acknowledgement of the past, knowing your history, knowing your elders, your ancestors, and what they did, so that we're here now, so that we can reimagine and co-create the future. Like those are things that I think no matter what, like needs to continue in order for it to be even culture, you know?
That's so true. Like,
right?
Just the passing down of generations, and like,
and the uplifting of the next.
That part is equally as important. Like, to acknowledge the past, but also celebrate the future.
Okay, you're the future, Zia. You are. You are. Aww. Oh my gosh, we just went on like, you basically answered so many of my questions in one question. So good. There were definite things that I wanted to hit while I had you here with me, you know? I wanted to talk about the recent event you just did, the Vancity Ultimate Jam. Which was so impactful for me / like our OG met his OGs, you know? Like Jarek to me had been as far as it goes of who I know in our dance community and people of his generation. But really, like, a lot of people have moved on. They're not really participating, or they don't come to community events. And then, you know, this event that you and Jojo and Tasha and Jarek and I'm not sure Arthur helped organize. Can you tell us about it?
So this was Jojo's idea. And basically, it was like, I think in the summer last year, I saw him at, I think, Bastid's barbecue. He was performing, did a great job. And I saw him there, and we were just chatting, and he's like, did you know that there's this whole, like, generation of undocumented dancers in Vancouver, like, street dancers, from, like, the 70s and 80s, and there was also, like, an all-black breaking, like, rocking crew, and I was like... In Vancouver? What?
You just randomly said that to
did you know? And I was like, no.
Jojo.
So he's like, and he showed me a picture of the Ultimate Force, Tough, which is comprised
such
of
a good acronym too.
I know. I was like, wow. And we just both were like kind of confused about how this had gone without people knowing, and because we do have people that have been in the scene for a really long time, like Tasha and Jarek, and I think just again because like it was at a time without like social media or internet, things like that, and also their concern at the time wasn't getting known, it was just dancing for the love of it
and having fun,
and just enjoying themselves with the music and the culture. So Jojo was like, I just really feel like the city needs to hear about these people, and that's something that we just continue to talk about. He's like, well, what if we do like an event? And then we started to talk about what that would look like. So us and the other individuals I mentioned, he started like a group chat, and we just started to talk about what that would look like. we talked about wanting to do like a panel discussion so people could hear about their experiences and history and how far back that went and what things were like back then. And then, yeah, so we just planned that. We also wanted to honor them because, you know, it's recognition of what they contributed to the scene and maybe the snowball effect.
Hey,
Yes.
Zia, come here. Come on. Come on. Sorry, everyone. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come. Up, up, up. Up, up, up here. Up here. Come on. Up here. Up. Up.
The
Come up.
guest star.
The guest star. Up. Let's go. Come on. Up here. Let's go, girl.
Nice.
Sit down. Sit down.
Yes.
Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Come on. Come on.
She's like, do you have more chicken for me?
Lie down.
That's all I
Lie
care
down.
about.
Okay. We're going to feel my heartbeat. We're going to calm down.
Skyrocketed.
We're just...
Yep.
Yep, just did that
More
on the
chicken.
show, everyone. First time. A penguin fed this dog. Okay. And now you get, look at that.
It's just the perk of doing a live show.
You just get to
You
cuddle.
just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. We're talking about the coolest thing. Hey, 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 come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. I don't know if people just feel sorry for me or they're like, this is entertaining. They're like,
No, I bet people are laughing. It's all good.
She's like, yeah, you had the chance to go to the neighbor. It's like, we trust you, Zia. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes animals are just like babies. Like they're just
unpredictable.
extra needy,
Yeah.
needing love.
You just don't know.
Okay, okay.
Just hanging off.
Okay,
now.
just stay. Just stay. Yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to put that together, panel discussion, a way to honor these street dancers. So we wanted to give them like an award, a little kind of just gesture of appreciation for like you were just talking about kind of who came before us and the scene that was there. There's also an all-female crew.
Scorpio!
Yeah, and
Oh my
that was
gosh.
really cool to learn about
So
too.
badass, so
Yeah,
cool.
you were there.
Yeah.
So it was a small gathering, but we did document it so that it will be available to the wider Vancouver community. And yeah, it was a really special experience, really nice to hear their perspective and just get to meet some of these people and hear what things were like, what the scene was like. Apparently there was like a bump-in social and clubbing scene in Vancouver back in the day.
When I was in high school, there weren't cool parties
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, they talked about that place, what was it called, in New Westminster?
Oh, the community center or the
Yeah,
Presensory?
the club that they would perform.
Foster?
No, it started with a C.
Cheers?
No. Ooh, I'm sorry. I
can't
totally
remember
remembered it, and
either.
now it slipped my
Can't
brain.
remember.
But anyways, that event was really cool, super impactful. The fact that we got to hear from people, you know, like, I can't imagine what it would be like now to be in a space you're just having fun exploring something as like a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, that would then go fully and impact the world, you know? Hey, come on, Z. Come here, girl. Come here. Come on. What do we need? Come here. Hey. Come here. Come here. Oh. Yeah. Hey. Hold up a second, everyone. Come on.
Little break.
Good thing we edit these episodes into half an hour, you know? For the good old TELUS network. Okay, cameraman, we're gonna have to move the camera this way. We've moved our set.
Accommodating the
We're
guest
accommodating
star.
the guest star
Yeah.
here. This is how we ended the show last time. Okay. Our chats continue. Oh my god, thank you for rolling with
No,
this.
you're all good.
This is hilarious.
It's-
Yeah.
I know.
It's just like a video edited with all these like cuts of what this
Little
dog
change
has
in
done.
location, yeah.
I just want like a freeze frame super zoomed in of her eyeballs on the chicken. you
Yeah,
know?
honestly, the 30-minute edit could just be her. Just cut me out.
Oh my gosh. Come here.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay, I'm going to take this to opportunity to have
on.
some more chicken.
Please have some more chicken.
Good.
Hey. Come here.
Yeah. Oh, you heard chicken, eh?
I'm gonna get a bit of her kibble. Hold on a second. Oy, oy. Everyone can still hear me.
You okay?
Obsidian Jam. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, Zia. Come here. Come here. Sit. Come on. Sit. Lie down. Lie down. Lie down. Chocolate Labs, very trainable dogs. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, let's get to the juice, girl.
All right.
You have been
next?
releasing so much promo the last
Yes.
couple of days. I know these are the deadlines that you've been working with. Down.
Yeah.
Down.
Gotta get through everything.
Yeah, I'm stoked on this event. It took place last year. Tell us about it, and how did you come up with the idea to create this jam?
Yeah. So last year was my first year hosting the event. It was also my first time hosting a battle, period, and organizing a battle. So that was a big learning curve for me. But basically, Vancouver has a very small Black population compared to other cities in North America, I will say, but also like particularly other Canadian cities such as Toronto, Montreal, even Ottawa. So because of that, like navigating different areas of the dance community in particular, but also just within the greater community in general, I really felt like there was a need for spaces that were more Black-led, Black-centered, because that wasn't the experience that I was necessarily coming into with different events and things like that. And a lot of these street dances that we are enjoying and a part of come from Black culture. And I just wanted a way to kind of bring the Black community together. Even though it's a smaller community, there's still ways to bring the community together and just experience that. And then also, I wanted for other people, like the non-Black community, to experience what it's like to be in a Black space and to be around the Black community in a dance setting. Because that's something that isn't necessarily common in different dance events in the city. So
Definitely.
yeah, just like for context, I might be the only Black female street dancer entering a battle for like 5 battles in a row in the city. So, just having, again, that representation, that visibility, and that was kind of my goal for creating Obsidian. So I was like, well, what better month to do that than Black History Month, Black History and Futures Month. So last year I partnered with the Black Arts Center, which is a nonprofit organization in Surrey.
Beautiful space
they had. Yeah, they had a great space. They were amazing to work with. And yeah, that event went well. It was well received by the community. I got a lot of good feedback from different people that attended, just that it was a different experience than anything that they had experienced in Vancouver. A lot of Black youth came and battled. I had a lot of young, kind of like high school age Black women, young girls, young women, just give me that feedback afterwards that it was really cool to be in that space and ask me more questions about what it's like to dance professionally or to be in different roles. And I just really saw that like representation effect of having seen someone that looks like them do something with dance or in the community.
Hey,
you just know all the right cues to come in.
Vancity beats, eats, and you missed your cue again, girl. So loud, so vocal.
She's camera shy.
You have so many cool judges, and you have a new category.
I do.
Yes. Vancity beats, eats, and... Are you serious, girl? Sia! Like...
She's just trolling you now.
She's seriously
trolling you now.
Hey, okay. Come here. Our editor has to do some crazy things to the audio because of you. Come here. Lie down. Hey. Shh. Nope. Down. Quiet. Everyone, this is a training moment, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to see if it works. Zia,
It's actually
look
a
at
dog
me.
training show.
Look at me. It's fully a dog training.
It's actually an advertisement for dog training.
Look at me. No barking. Hey? No barking. She's like, I don't understand English. Down. Come here. Down. 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 Stay. Stay. The secret is I have nothing in my hands but the smell of kibble. She's just going to keep smelling it.
To keep her looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we added, the response was really great last year. The only thing that was challenging is that our space wasn't big enough to accommodate everyone that wanted to come. So,
what a good problem to have!
I know, but it also was sad that we couldn't accommodate people that wanted to be a part of that. So this year we have a bigger venue, which is exciting, and I've also added another category. We're going to do an Afro battle, so it's 1v1 hip hop, which is the OG category. And then we're adding 1v1 Afro. And this, to my knowledge, and to the community leaders in the Afro scene that I've spoken to, will be Vancouver's first organized Afro battle in history.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Like Venom even said?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's sick, dude.
So there's been like
pull up.
There's been like in-house battles. Like I know AJ Zodi, he's training people for in Afro freestyle. We had like a kind of informal battle, which was great. But in terms of like an open, like ticketed event that's open to the general public and organized with multiple judges, DJ, things like that, like this is the first one that I know of, which is like really exciting.
Yes.
And
okay, better question is how big is the venue this time?
So this time the venue it's able to accommodate like more than twice what we had last year. So
Perfect.
so it's at the Beaumont.
But still, don't sleep.
Don't sleep because last year the tickets sold out a week before the event. And I had lots of people messaging me for last minute tickets. I was like, sorry, y'all. I told you it was going to sell out. Yeah. I'm foreseeing it's going to sell out again this year.
Agreed.
That's what I am hoping for. I mean,
you have a lot of cool people coming from out of town, too.
Yeah, there's people, the judges, but also like just, advertising, spreading the word to different people, connecting with different people and inviting them. There's actually some out of town people that are planning to come and enter the battle. So that's exciting. And I just think that I really want to put on a really great event for Vancouver and just have like a really nice celebration of Black culture. And again, like the reason I'm doing this is to uplift and amplify Black voices and Black talent, Black artistry, the Black community, and for people to feel celebrated and safe in a space that is meant for them, but also inclusive to all people and anybody. So I want everyone to experience what that's like. And so everyone's invited. The tickets are dropping this week. Don't sleep on them. I already have people messaging being like, where can I get my ticket? I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, all this promo, no event link.
Right.
Come on.
I'm building the hype. I'm not a marketing
dropping
expert.
dropping singles.
I am a one-woman show running this. So
oh my God.
I do have some great volunteers and people that have been helping me behind the scenes. But the large majority of the organization I'm doing on my own.
Which is impressive and awesome
you.
and a lot of work, and I think we'll create opportunities for more people to get involved as they see it, you know, and they want to help.
I just feel so passionately about this event and this cause that I just really, I have a lot of thoughts and ideas, and I'm just trying to sort them out a little bit. But I'm very fortunate. I have a really supportive partner. My husband Simon has been really supportive.
Shout out to Simon.
Shout out Simon.
For real.
He's been helping me with like looking up venue locations and places for the workshops to be held, things like that, like calling venues and stuff like that. So as much as he can help out.
We love us a Simon.
I know.
You're for real.
Yeah, no,
That's
he's she's been great and just like morally supportive as well, being like, you can do it.
Honestly, it's also the post-event jam to have somebody just hold you after all of that. That's important.
No, it is important. So yeah, I have a good support system. I have a great team of volunteers that have offered to help. So I wouldn't be able to do that without them as well. So really grateful for that. But I'm really excited for the jam and just for Vancouver to experience this. For
only year 2, that's wild to me. And I love things in its early beginnings because it's raw. It's like no one knows what to expect.
Yes.
You know, there isn't a pressure of it to live up to anything other than what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so much intention, so much good intention. So we really can't go wrong when it's,
hopefully,
you know. Well, I mean, there's always something that happens in events.
Yeah.
Right? And like there's always something to learn from the last. But if anyone wants to see a preview, what's really cool is the week before, on Thursday, February 13th, Obsidian Jam is going to be one of our pop-up events at Winter Arts Fest, which actually, I mean, press releases went out literally, I think, today.
Oh, great.
And the festival lineup will get released next week on the website, winterartsfest.com. But it's been locked in.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to have you part of it. Like right away when I saw, I was just like, oh my gosh, hey, come here. Down. I was like, I would love to have Obsidian Jam part of this and, you know, get more people aware and knowing that this is something that's going on in our city. So they're going to do a 1v1 exhibition battle in hip hop, in Afro, any other secrets?
No,
you know, you might have to
wait
there
to see who it is that's battling. But yeah, that'll be a great way to experience what a little glimpse of what it will be like at the battle. I'm really trying to curate like the best vibes, the best atmosphere, and yeah, just like really did a lot of work into who the team was and giving different people opportunities, because that's another goal for me as an artist and any sort of like platform that I have. It's really important to me to give different people opportunities that maybe wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to do something, or maybe don't get asked as much. But
that's special.
It's important to have that, because you know, people have done that for me, and that's partly why I've been able to continue to facilitate things, is because people have given me opportunities to perform or asked me to do something when I haven't necessarily been asked by other people. So I really appreciate that, and it means a lot when I get those experiences. So I try to extend that to other people as well. But yeah, so another thing about Obsidian is that it has an entirely Black hired team. So in terms of our judges, MC, host, DJ, media, anyone who's like part of our core team is from the Black community. So that's important to me as well, to uplift the Black community, make sure the Black people are getting paid for their time and their expertise.
Thank you.
KatchFlow. Yeah. Because that's also important. And then, yeah, just like giving, again, different people opportunities and curating something that hasn't necessarily been done. Like, again, the all-Black team, and last year having an all-Black local judging team, DJ, MC, and media person also had never been done in Vancouver history before. So
just filling up history books, gal.
I mean, I was surprised to hear that, but it's, you know, I was very intentional about doing that so that, you know, people, again, can experience what that is like to be a part of an event that has that. That's also why I like to go to the States and really immerse myself in African American culture, where a lot of these dances came from, because that environment is not, you can't get that here. Like not even just Vancouver I'm talking about, but like even other cities that do have more of a Black community, like you don't, it's just different because the circumstances are different, the culture is different, the context is different. the politics are different. So learning that history has been very eye-opening to me, and going to these places, going to these places has been really transformative in how I look at street dance culture, what I've learned about it, just even by observing and absorbing the environment and the shared collective understanding of a space when there's kind of a united understanding of the culture. So like in New York, that's been the case. I've done a couple battles there, also trained there, learned more about the history there, really connected and just spent a lot of time talking to people, which I think is like the dance training, definitely. I learned a lot, got my butt kicked, a lot of different drills that we did and stuff like that, classes, but really talking with people about their experience and history is where I really learned the most. And then Los Angeles, again, different vibe, different history, different people, and then going down to Seattle, which is so close to us, and even though it's close to us, also has differences in culture. And then Tampa, wow.
Yo. I was gonna ask, like, what would you say was something that you really learned from experiencing this event?
So the event is Thesis. Thesis dance event. Shout out Hans and the Floridians for putting that on.
10 years, right?
10-year anniversary. So I just got back from that. Went with a couple of girlfriends from Toronto, and there's a couple of other Canadians as well.
So fun.
Went down there. It was so fun. But let me tell you, the energy and the culture of Florida and Tampa was wild. Like, it was incredible to experience those elements of Southern hospitality and just that energy and enthusiasm and individuality, like the most creative stuff I've ever seen, and seeing people just fluently express themselves so creatively in such a rich environment. Like, it was really authentic and special, like very supportive. Everyone was cheering for everyone. Doesn't matter where you're from, who you rep, what your dance style is. Like, it was really special to be a part of that. Large Black demographic at the event, which is like representative of the States in general, but also like the South. And then street dance in general, but a lot of different styles too. Like there was krump, there was vogue, there was whacking, there was breaking, popping, hip hop, of course.
Oh,
house.
So rich.
Like, yes, it was just so many styles, and I think that also really speaks to the inclusivity of the event, that people feel, Chicago footwork as well, that people feel welcome to enter the battle and be in that space, and, you know, want to share their dance with people at that event. And the judging panel was very diverse in terms of their background and experience, and music was amazing, which is a big factor for, you know, how a jam goes.
As an event organizer, what was something that you noticed that you're like, I'm going to put that one in my back pocket, of like something that made the event really impactful? Hey. Zia, come on.
Okay, this gives me time to think of my answer, because I'm not sure. So
sit.
Thank you for the interlude, Zia.
Come on, sit down. Come on, down. Please be calm. Okay? Should have brought you to the neighbor. Hate that that's so. Come on.
I don't know if this is something that is like is specifically like curated. Like, it's not something that can be organized per se, but just how like present the organizers were in all aspects of the event. Like, you could go and talk to the organizers and really connect with them about your experience, and they really cared about how you felt, how things were going, receiving feedback, you know, like, oh, how's the event been for you guys so far? Like, you know, what have you enjoyed? What's different about it for you here versus Canada? I said to Hans at the end of the weekend, I was like, I get now why you are the way you are and why you dance the way you dance. Like, I feel like I understand you more as a person now. And he was like, yes. He's like, that was the point. Like, I want people to come to this event and just experience what Florida has to offer, what it's like here. And just the energy was sky high. And like it was just such a beautiful thing to experience the socials, dancing, music, connecting, conversation with people was like so great. So I don't know if it's like an organizational thing that I would take, but just like the approach, I guess, to being personable and like staying connected to the people that are coming, you know, traveling to be at your event, even though it's like such a big event and there's so much to do all the time. It's like still taking the time to speak with people and express gratitude for coming to their event and supporting, because, you know, without people supporting events, it's you can't put them on, because it's expensive and it's a lot of work. So, you know, that's something I've really had a good appreciation for, being behind the scenes organizing it, is like how much work goes into organizing an event. Even if it's a small jam, it's a lot that needs to be organized, and a lot of time spent, a lot of stress, a lot of money out of pocket, which
the unsung heroes,
like, right, and
you know,
sometimes you don't make that money back, but you do it for the community, and sometimes you do, and that's great. But yeah, it's you know, I don't think people get into like organizing jams like for the money or for like the status, if you can even gain status from organizing an event. I think you really have to love to do it, because it's a lot of work. It's super hard and it's stressful. Yeah. But then the day comes and like you're looking around and you're like,
that's the reward.
Yeah, it's so worth it to have
everybody together,
and like just to have that shared experience of that event, and
seeing everyone elevate.
Yeah, and really, you know, I want people to see the vibrancy that we have in the city. Yes. And of course there's things that I wish that might be a little different, but I think every city has that, and I want to do my best on my part to try and contribute to making spaces that I wish that I had when I first moved here. But I think that we can build and we can create. So I want to try and do my part. And I'm like looking at this and I'm like, yes, like I love this. And then on the other hand, I'm like, I wish I could enter the battle. I was like, I want to battle at my battle, because I feel everybody involved is just so special. I'm like, it's, you know, I couldn't do it without everybody involved, and that's what really makes it special. So I'm excited to see the day and for people to come through and like experience it, and
so good.
Yeah, just
so good. There was
that magic.
A lot you just said in all of that.
Sorry, every time I talk for like
answers
30
all
minutes.
my questions. I don't even have to ask the question. All I'm trying to do is just like keep the dog calm. Don't make the editing job hard on our editor.
I think I'm like trying to get things out too before she starts barking again. So I'm like, she's quiet. I should speak now.
The biggest test of my patience and hosting skills. One thing I wanted to go back to that you had said was what you pinpointed about the Floridians and what the homies had done as hosts, as excellent hosts and event organizers, that like we all can learn if you are going to be someone who holds and creates space for community, is like to take a moment to just enjoy it. Enjoy being there, enjoy who showed up, like, especially all you type A folks, like sometimes you're just like, my clipboard, where's my clipboard, and like just trying to make sure, you can't control everything, and you do all that work, like take a moment and be grateful for the people that are there and who made the time, who spent the money, and it's what builds like a deeper relationship and makes the whole
Yeah.
thing fun.
Exactly.
You know?
And yeah, exactly like you
Yeah.
said. Like, I was like, well, I have to go to Thesis because Hans comes to like, he came to like 3 Canadian battles last year. And
They've been coming to Vancity. We
Yeah.
haven't seen y'all in a minute. Come back. We miss you.
you heard that. You heard
For
that.
real.
call
That's
out.
the official invitation.
Yeah.
I mean, I met those guys hosting VSDF. Might have been my first year.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like, were like, who are these guys? Where'd they come from? How'd they hear about us?
Mm-hmm.
And they kept coming back every year.
So good.
I forget who had won, but like from their crew had won hip hop category, maybe 2 years, couple of years in a row. But they really represented and really just like, yeah, supported our community and vice versa.
Yeah, it's so important, that mutual support, and they were really grateful to see people from Canada. They gave us a little shout out. You know, who's here from the East Coast? Who's here from whatever? And who's here from Canada? It was like 10 of us, like making the most noise.
Yes.
But we were just so proud to represent
"You
and
know."
to be there. You know, and yeah, people kind of like turned around and be like, "Dang, that's far north. Like we're in Florida." So
Your plane ride was like 6 hours.
yeah, well, two planes
Okay,
together,
yeah, connecting flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was so worth it, that experience. But I think again, like seeing that mutual support of each other's events and telling people about the event is so important to keep building those special moments. And every city can put on something different and something unique. So you don't have to make your jam like someone else's jam. It can be its own thing and different, and yeah, that's what I kind of hope to achieve with Obsidian.
Love it. I feel like we're at an hour of our live stream. Ali? Yeah. Oh, yo, shout outs to everybody who's tuned in, who's been watching this whole stream, learning
Laughing
more,
at us.
laughing at us. We're like, yo, man, what happened to your dog sitter for the dog sitter, you know? This is a rare occasion with Zia. She has extra needs today, and sometimes we just feel like that. And the truth is, me and Kristen feel like that.
Yeah.
Someone come and rub our backs now and rub our feet. That would be lovely. I really appreciate you taking the time and rolling with this.
Yeah, no,
And
thank you
just
so much for having
sharing
me.
your stories, sharing your learning, your experiences. You know, I know from like the first time that we had talked, we had so many great conversations. And yeah, it was awesome to be able to include that in this archive.
Yeah.
You know, I was walking with Zia earlier today outside and just thinking about that, where I'm like, we're coming up on like, girl, I think it's like 76 episodes. You might be our 76th.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
Yeah, like
congratulations.
a
That's
lot.
like huge.
You know, and that it's an
Wow.
archive essentially of this specific moment in time, this creative scene, and who is really like the class of 2023 to 2025. You know, and one thing that you definitely said that many different guests who've been on the show have said is just like, I needed to create this thing that I'm a part of because it wasn't here before.
Yeah.
And I want to see it happen. And I also
Yeah.
see other people who need this space.
Yes.
And so, you know, big shout outs to you.
Thank you.
I'm here to support. I'm here for
Yeah.
all of it. I'm stoked for what's coming up next month.
Yes.
And,
And you are a great supporter, Kaz, of many, many corners of the community. And anytime I mention your name, everyone's like brightens up. So thank you for what you do and what you put on and how you support people. It's really special. So thank you. Are you gonna cry?
I was going to high five you, but it's just pure slobber. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, man, I'm ready for this live stream to be over. Like, this dog, we really just did it to ourselves today.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Thank you once again to everyone who's been watching, tuning in on the replay. Big shout outs to Ali, who has been filling
Thank
in
you,
for,
Ali.
you know, doing our cam ops. And yeah, much love, peace. This is Vancity Beats, Eats, and...